Welcome to PCARD cardholder training. The e-procurement office is under Business Services and administers the PCARD program. The PCARD is a credit card issued by the University of Arkansas through U.S. Bank to be used for official business purchases. To activate your PCARD, you will call the 1-800 number and enter the following information as requested: card number, zip code, the last 4 digits of your social security number, and work phone number. Please note that if your work number does not work, you will need to use the business service front office number 479-575-2551. When you call to activate your PCARD, you will set up a PIN number. Your monthly spending limits reset every 30 days with the billing cycle. The billing cycle resets on the 16th of each month. These dates are always listed on the PCARD website. Understanding PCARD dates is important to being a compliant cardholder. The invoice begin date is the billing cycle start date when the limits begin. The invoice end date is the end of the billing cycle. Limits will reset the next day on the next invoice begin date. The cutoff date is 1 week after the invoice end date. By this date, all charges must be approved in basis. Cardholders should have all of their receipts to their approver by the cutoff date. 2 weeks after the cutoff date is the receipt's due date. This date is when the approvers must have the receipts turned in to the e-procurement office. These 2 weeks are given for approvers to organize and submit the receipts. Cardholders should turn in their receipts to their approvers by the cutoff date. The standard monthly spending limit is $5,000. If you do not spend your monthly limit, money does not roll over to the next month. The standard single transaction limit is $2,500. This limit is due to the capitalization of assets for tracking. If you purchase an item over $2,500 by splitting the cost, you will receive a warning from Business Services. If it happens again, your card will be suspended. There is never a reason to split a purchase. If you need to make a purchase over your limits, you must contact the e-procurement administrator for approval. Include what you need to purchase, why you cannot use a PO, and give the final purchase amount, including taxes and shipping. Your spending limits may be less depending on your department. There are some items that are never allowed to be purchased with a PCARD. Those items include alcoholic beverages, birthday, holiday, greeting, and thank you cards, supplies and food for office birthday parties or celebrations, items for personal use, personal convenience items such as candy, coffee, or coffee makers, printing using a printing press, any purchase that requires an official University of Arkansas signature such as a maintenance agreement, airfare or other travel expenses such as lodging, car rentals, or fuel, narcotics, prescription, or over-the-counter medicine used for human consumption, construction or remodeling, or gifts of any kind, including flowers. If you have any questions on whether a purchase is allowable, please call the e-procurement office before making the purchase. When making online purchases, the billing address you will use is the address for the administration building. It is 1125 West Maple Street, Admin 321, Fayetteville, Arkansas 72701. All of the words must be spelled out completely. Remember, do not ship to this address. This is only a billing address and not a shipping address. Always ship items to an official University of Arkansas address and never ship to a personal address such as your home. You may use the PCards to order from Amazon and PayPal. However, you must set up a separate account that is tied to your University of Arkansas email address. You want to keep business, business, and personal, personal. Departments are allowed to purchase an Amazon Prime membership, but it is up to each department. The e-procurement office recommends only 1 Amazon Prime membership per department. Gift cards and prizes may be bought with a PCARD if you receive prior approval from the e-procurement office. Read the entire gift card purchasing using a PCARD page before beginning. Prior approval is required before making these purchases. If approval is not obtained, your PCARD will be immediately suspended. Only gift cards from Walmart, Sam's, or Amazon are allowed on the PCARD. The signed approval form and disbursement log will need to be turned in with the receipt. There are some instances when you will need to delegate your PCARD. You must include the delegation form along with the receipt for each transaction. Make sure that the person you are delegating your card to understands the non-allowable PCARD rules and that they need to submit an itemized, detailed receipt. This procedure is not for continual use. If an employee needs continual use of another's PCARD, they should obtain their own PCARD. You are still responsible for all purchases made on your PCARD. If your PCARD is ever lost or stolen, call the U.S. Bank customer service. If you suspect fraud on your PCARD, call the U.S. Bank Fraud Department. In both of these situations, call the bank before calling the PCARD office. At any time, you can check web basis for your PCARD charges. You also have the ability to call the U.S. Bank customer service and check your current balance whenever you desire. If you receive any promotional gift cards, coupons, rebates, or items while making online or in-store purchases, remember that these items belong to the University of Arkansas and are not yours to take home. You may accept these items as long as you turn them into your department for further university business use. Do not receive cash back on any purchase, return, or exchange of items purchased on the PCARD. There are 5 reasons your PCARD can be declined. The first happens when online shopping. Make sure you're using the correct billing address, then try again. Second, you have exceeded the single transaction limit of $2,500. Remember, never split a purchase to make it under the single transaction limit. Third, you have exceeded your monthly limit of $5,000. Fourth, you have attempted to use your card and the merchant category code is blocked. And fifth, the bank thinks that the charge is fraud and blocked it. If your card is ever declined, call the e-procurement office within 48 hours. Many times, the e-procurement office can fix the error quickly so you can continue your purchasing. The responsibilities of owning a PCARD include keeping the account number confidential, using the PCARD for official business only, keeping up with receipts and submitting them on time, complete with any additional documentation that is required, and reading the listserv messages. Upon termination of employment, or if a PCARD is no longer needed, ask your department to cancel your card. Remember to report a lost or stolen PCARD immediately to U.S. Bank. All PCARD charges must be approved in basis by the cutoff date. Many approvers want the receipts before the charges are approved. We encourage all cardholders to turn in receipts by the cutoff date. If charges are not approved, cardholders will receive a warning. If it continues, the card will be suspended. This process is outlined under the misuse of your PCARD. Cardholders should get in the habit of submitting their receipts to their PCARD approver or department administrator at a minimum of once a week. Cardholders must have all receipts to their approver by the cutoff date. Each department has a PCARD approver. This is who you submit your receipts to, and then your department approver will submit them to the PCARD team via COFAX. All receipts are due in our office no later than 2 weeks after each cutoff date. This time is given for PCARD approvers to organize and submit. Cardholders should have all receipts to their approver by the cutoff date. Every PCARD purchase requires an itemized, detailed receipt to be reviewed for validity and approval. If you make a purchase and lose the receipt, first contact the vendor and request a duplicate receipt. If one cannot be obtained, then you can submit a lost or unobtainable receipt form. This form should be used as a last resort. Some purchases made with a PCARD require additional documentation which must be submitted with the receipt. You can find these forms and other information on the PCARD website. The misuse of your PCARD. For the first offense of an unapproved, non-allowable purchase or missing image on your PCARD, you'll receive a written warning from Business Services, and you'll be offered more training. For a second offense of an unapproved, non-allowable purchase or missing image on your PCARD, you will temporarily lose your PCARD privileges and must attend training again. For habitual offenses of unapproved, non-allowable purchases or missing images, your card will be suspended indefinitely. You and your PCARD approver will be notified. If you want to reinstate your privileges, you must contact the e-procurement administrator. Understand that intentional misuse or abuse of the PCARD or PCARD rules will result in immediate revocation of the PCARD privileges and possible disciplinary and legal action. If we suspect you are using your card fraudulently or inappropriately, your card will be suspended, you and your approver will be notified, and possible investigation and termination of employment. The e-procurement office reserves the right to suspend or cancel cards immediately depending on the severity of the offense. If you are invoiced for personal or non-allowable charges, your department's budget officer will be copied on the invoice. PCARD purchases are audited by the e-procurement office. Audits include Walmart, Sam's, Amazon, restaurants, Level 3, random, cardholders who are approvers, purchases over $2,500, and lost or unobtainable receipts. If the e-procurement office has questions about a purchase, you will receive an email asking for clarification. This process is designed to keep the institution in compliance with all laws and policies. The PCARD website, pcard.uark.edu, houses information about the PCARD policies and procedures, cutoff dates, training dates, gift card information, and much more. If you cannot find what you're looking for, please contact the e-procurement office. Congratulations! You can now come pick up your PCARD and sign the PCARD agreement form in Admin 321. If you need to contact the e-procurement office, please email pcard@uark.edu or call 479-575-2551. Thanks for watching.